reconnection to self, to community, and to nature. And it's not just a talk, it's also an interactive accessibility to a new technology I've created that helps with the whole journey of reconnecting to self, to our hearts, and intuitive wisdom. I'm really excited to be sharing about this today. It's really about my journey of being really connected to self and then getting super disconnected and then getting reconnected and creating a technology that can help share some of the ways that I've been able to re-access and reconnect to myself and the ways that I'm looking to reconnect with folks in community. And I'm really excited to share the technology with you. So my name is Mike Danheim. I'm the founder at Sensie app. The website's sensie.app. So sensie.app. And what Sensie is the ability to measure your emotional state and identifying clear sources of stress before they become a problem and integrating them as a wisdom. So really being guided by our negative emotions. They're not really negative, they're just emotions that carry stress to help motivate us, right? And so the technology is designed to help us connect more deeply with ourselves and to have this deeper understanding of this wisdom that lies within our feelings and our emotions. So I guess we'll just dive right into it. The background for this technology, before I share the technology, I'm a yoga and meditation practitioner for 19 years, and I've been building technology startups for about 15 years now. I've had some big successes, and I've had some failures, and I got a balanced story. But what Sensie represents is me bringing together my biggest life's passion. So my passions in technology and my passions in wellness to help share with the world the things that are in my heart that I would like to share and see and help to share more of, which is just being able to feel great and have a deeper relationship with myself. And so the background for this bigger narrative, I'm a part of a yoga school called Blissology. It's by Ian Finn, an amazing yogi, friend of mine, brother. And Ian's symbol for his yoga school is a flame. And that flame has sort of like 3 colors to it. And the teaching of the flame, or what the symbol represents, is that at the core of the flame is the brightest and the hottest flame, which is representative in this analogy to connection to self, to our hearts, our intuitive wisdom, and this bigger sense of self. And that connection, obviously, in a flame, as we all know, a flame, the brighter that light is, the brighter that white light is, the bigger the flame can grow. And so in the symbol of this flame, the first layer, that white light, is connection to self. The next layer is connection to community, connection to others. And without that bright white light, the connection to self, is very difficult to then connect to community. And when we're not connected to community, most likely we don't care much about nature. And I can speak to that from my own perspective. When I'm disconnected from myself, I'm not thinking much about nature, thinking about making money and all of that stuff, But on this beautiful journey that I've been on, I found that symbol to be the biggest truth for me, where the relationship to me is directly reflective to the relationship I have with others. And the relationship I have with me and others is also reflective to my relationship with nature, with source. And so I worked with some awesome teammates to create technology to help turn this phone into a healing device, a device that can help us really reconnect more deeply with ourselves and grow our presence and expand what is being called interoception, which is inner awareness. Interoception can be a whole nother call or talk for another day. But I want to just mention it because interoceptive healthcare, we are in the midst of an interoceptive healthcare crisis. And what I mean by that is we've all heard that stress is the source of so much illness and disease, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. And if it seems like the narrative on stress is getting worse and worse, it's because it's broken. The narrative on stress is just broken to the point of being wrong. And the way it's wrong is that stress isn't causing the illness and disease. It's our relationship to stress or to our feelings. It's the relationship that creates the illness and disease. So the more attuned I am with my feelings, the more I can listen to myself and quiet the mind and have harmony and listen to my body and my feelings, the more I can then learn techniques to embody that feeling as wisdom and learn how to extinguish the stress response, which then helps me to cultivate health, the opposite of illness and disease. And the word interoception is inner awareness. And it's a very real skill. And there's a lot of good research out there that shows the higher levels of inner awareness of interoception, the more successful, the happier, the better relationships, the more contentment, like all of the things we want in life go up, the more we strengthen this muscle of inner awareness and connection to self. And that's why we created Sensie, which I'm so excited to share with you today. So what Sensie is we use the sensors inside your smartphone to measure movement, a specific gesture, which I'm going to show you in a second, to help us measure tension or no tension associated with thought and spoken word. So muscle tension is part of the stress response of the central nervous system. And so we track movement to help give you feedback, real-time feedback, to help identify if you're in a blocked or flowing state of the nervous system. And I'll stop talking about it now, and we'll go right into it. But you can download Sensie on the platform here. I'm going to put a link. I'm not sure if it's going to be here or here, but there'll be a link, and you'll have access. You can download it, and you can follow along with me. And what I'm going to do right now is share my phone screen with you, so you can see where I am and what I'm doing here to download Sensie. And then you have to register, and you tell Sensie how you want to use it. And then afterwards, after you've told Sensie you use it and you've registered, you'll land here, which is a demonstration of the gesture. Before we do the gesture, just a couple pro tips. Hydration. If you're dehydrated, the gamma neurons aren't able to flow as well. It creates tension and sort of a coarseness in your muscle fiber, which gives severs the mind-body connection. So you want to make sure you're well hydrated, which it talks about that here. And then sleep. If you're fatigued, it also sort of severs the mind-body connection. It's harder for the processes to flow. So you want to make sure you're rested and you're well hydrated to be able to do this is a muscle test, essentially, a measured one. And the gesture takes 3 seconds. So the way it works is you just go 1, 2, 3, nice and rhythmic. 1, 2, 3 from the wrist. And we're measuring the bounce of the hand, wrist, and forearm. We get like 3,000 data points per gesture. It's insane how much data comes off of the sensors in your phone. So if I want to start training, I just tap on start training. I read the sentence. I have the power to change. I feel the feelings in my body. I swipe the slider, and then I go 1, 2, 3. And you can see the lines on the screen here moving. That's tracing my movement through space and time as I move. And then it's going to say, good job. You're doing the whipping properly. Now, if you didn't do the whipping properly, I'm just going to go through that one more time, and I'm going to do it improperly. So maybe I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did 5 whips. It's going to give you feedback. And it should count the number I did. And it'll tell me, yep, it says keep trying. You did 5 whips. The gesture's 3 whips, 3 in 3 seconds. So we're used to using these devices to move fast, and Sensie's really saying, hey, let's slow down. So if you did 4 or 5 whips, it's fine. And just slow down, reflect, come into the body, try again, and just go 1, 2, 3. You see 3 little gestures, and it'll say, great job. And then from here, once you feel like you have the gesture and you feel comfortable with it, the most important thing with the gesture is that it's fluid. So 1, 2, 3, fluid and rhythmic and just natural. Nice, and it doesn't have to be hard, nice and gentle. So once it feels like it's second nature, you can go finish training. And now this is where we calibrate Sensie. So in this, you're going to get a self-awareness assessment at the end of this, where Sensie assesses your emotional awareness, your body awareness, and your resilience awareness. We'll go through that once we're done here. But we want to make sure we have our time here, because this is going to take about 2 to 3 minutes. And the way it starts is you just tap on I'm ready. And I want you to feel the feeling that describes your current state. So right now, I feel Louise asked me to do this recording. I feel joy about that. So I feel joyful. And while thinking of Louise is a friend, so I'm going to say friends. And now I self-assess whether I have tension on my body or not. Yes, no. I have tension in my body. I don't think so. And now I feel that. And I want to express that feeling in the movement. So feeling joy while thinking of friends. 1, 2, 3. And then you do this 2 more times. Hopefully you're doing this along with me. It's not going to give me any feedback. It's just collecting data to formulate a baseline for me in a positive state right now. And we're going to do a negative state after this. It's got to get a calibration for what your movement looks like in both a positive and negative state to detect. So enjoy while thinking of friends. That's 3. And then 1 more if you enjoy while thinking of friends. Yeah. Beautiful. Now it's going to take me into a breathing exercise where I just clear that. So I tap on start breathing exercise. I take a deep inhale through my nose. I hold it. I exhale. Do I feel more relaxed? I do. If you want to do it again, you can try it again in the top left corner. You can do as many as you want to do until you do feel relaxed. And now since I selected positive, if you selected a negative emotion the first time, now you're going to do a positive. For me, I selected a positive, so now I'm doing a negative. So select a feeling different than what you just worked with. So I'll reveal myself. I can feel fear pretty quickly. Fear, anger, I'll do fear. Wow, thinking of personal. When I feel fear, do I feel tension? I do feel tension. So I say yes. Now I express the feeling of fear. So I really want to embody it and express fear in the movement. So I feel fear while thinking of personal. I do the gesture. I'm going to do it 2 more times. So it's getting a baseline, 3 data points, 3 data sets for my positive state, 3 data sets for my negative state. Feeling fear while thinking of personal, doing the gesture. And again, you pick the one that's best for you. You don't have to do fear. That's just one that's easy for me to access. Feeling fear. Okay, so start breathing exercise. Inhaling through my nose. Holding. Just clearing that negative state. Exhaling. The breath is a very powerful way to clear our state. Do I feel more relaxed? I do. And so now I get my self-awareness score. So I can tap on view my results. This score is not a statement of me in the broader sense of my life. It's just this moment in time and this assessment that I did right now. So it could be different if I do it later, but this is my calibration for right now. So at the top, it shows me that I'm a level 6, a connected being. I can learn more about that. I can explore what the other levels of self-awareness are. There's several in here. And then down below, you can see where I got my score, my emotional awareness, body awareness, resilience awareness. And so emotional awareness, if you got a low emotional awareness score, that drives a good portion of the detection. So you might want to recalibrate again. And the way it calibrates your emotional awareness is that it's basically grouping your emotion data. And then it's looking to see if the groups correspond with the right emotions based on what you selected. So, and that will help influence your accuracy. And if you have a low emotional awareness score, you can still use Sensie, but I'm just letting you know that does affect it. Body awareness is driven by if I did the gesture right each time. So if I did too many or too little, it'll ding me. And then resilience awareness, my self-assessment against the motion data. And then it gives me a little recommendation. It's a different recommendation for every level that's in there. So it gives little tips to help. And now I tap on go home. And if you want to retake the assessment, you can. But now we're going to go home to actually use Sensie. So here in Sensie, this is the journey of self-care, of learning how to become more sensitive with our bodies and tune into where we are. And so the first one on here you see is, am I ready? So testing ready state. Am I ready to do this talk? Am I ready for my meeting? Am I ready to be a dad? So really testing the nervous system to make sure that I'm not still carrying stress from earlier in the day. And that I am able to show up fully present and fully with whatever it is that I'm doing. Oops, sorry. So I tap on, am I ready? I read the sentence, I'm ready. I feel my feelings. So I'm gonna make mine about right now. So I'm ready to do this talk. Ready? I swipe, I go 1, 2, 3. You can see the sensor data moving again. There it is. As I move my phone. And flowing. There it is. Now, really important to know with the how do you feel about this outcome? Agree, disagree, agree after reflecting. Be as honest as you can be, because every time you give feedback, it's training the algorithm. It's further calibrating it for you. It's personalizing it for you. So I agree. I do feel like I feel like I'm flowing, and I can go back to home. And now, if I want to, I can go to goal alignment. I'm going to clear this out. Sorry, 1 second. And so goal alignment, what I can do here is I can author a goal that I'm working towards, and then I can actually test my emotional alignment with that goal. Nothing worse than having a goal or writing a goal and wanting to achieve it, and at the moment of writing it, actually feel defeated by it. So being able to check in to make sure you are fully embodied with the goal, fully thinking through and have everything you need in this moment that has you on track for your goal. And that's what this does. So I tap on create a goal. And down here, I can create my goal. It also tells me how to write a goal. So if I want more tips, there's some really good signs to writing a good goal. I tap here and this tells me how to create a goal, what to write. So you can see the example here. A general statement of I will save money for a house, not a good way to write a goal. A better way to write that goal is I save $50,000 for a house in Miami by October 5th, 2021. Need to update that date. But the reason why that goal is better than the first one is it's specific. It has a by when I'm looking to achieve it by, and it has a sort of quantified metric that I need to work towards to achieve the goal. So I fully understand what needs to be done and when it needs to be done by, really deeply informing the brain. And then feeling into it. So that's the next step. So I'm going to author a goal. My goal is I haven't had a salary in a long time. I've been building this. So I earn a full salary by April 1st. And then down here, I can create a little meaning behind it. Why do I want to achieve this goal? To help support my understanding of why it's important, to support my family. And now I tap create goal. And now that I'm creating the goal, now I can test it. So I can see if I feel aligned with this. I focus on the statement, I earn a full salary by April 1st. Feel my response, swipe, I go 1, 2, 3. And it's gonna tell me if I'm blocked or flowing or not. We'll see. I feel pretty good about that one. Well, it didn't put a dollar amount. But yeah, good. So what was interesting is I did this earlier, and I earn a salary. I put in, I pay myself a 200K salary, and I didn't have a date, and I was blocked, and that immediately made me realize, like, right, I need to add a date, and I added a date, and I tested it, and it was like flowing, which is great. So it's helped me realize I need to have a point in time when I want this by, so that I know what I need to do, and how much work it involves to achieve it. And I agree to this. So back to home. So I'm going to just check it. I'm ready. I'm going to get myself stressed here and show you what it looks like when I'm blocked and how to clear. And so for me, I can just think about taxes or politicians. They deserve love too, but I do get a little stressed by them. So I do the gesture. I think I felt like that was blocked. I was also kind of laughing a little bit, but I think that should be blocked. Yeah, good. Blocked, yes, I agree. And so now it says you want to clear the block. You see the little button there? I tap on clear the block, and it brings up the self-care marketplace. We have one intervention there right now. There's 3 more coming, so there'll be 4 total. And there's so mind, body, spirit clearing techniques will be here from a Harvard doctor, an Oxford PhD, and then an amazing coach and healer, Satya Raja. Their techniques will be in here so you can explore what it feels like to clear in these different ways. But for now, there's a simple breathing exercise. Tells you a little bit about it. I start the intervention. First, I talk about how I feel. So I rate it. So how strong is the stress with politicians? For me, that was what I tested. It's like a 4. It's not that bad. And now I start the breathing exercise. So it's 3 rounds of this breathing exercise. We'll go through it together. Join me. Hold the breath. Exhaling. Another round. Second one. Inhaling. Hold. Exhaling. Last round. Big inhale through your nose. Exhale. Oh, holding. Sorry, holding. Now exhaling. Do you feel more relaxed? Yes, I do. And now I re-rate it. So how intense is the block now? So I think back on the topic. I'd say it's like a 0 or a 1. Next. And then it does a little calculation where it tells me that I've increased my resilience by 75%. And now I can view my analytics. So just by clearing that, right, that's a real act of resilience. So there was a stress response that was measured by Sensie. You then I decided to do an intervention. I cleared, I rated how severe it was. I then took the intervention, cleared, and then re-rated, and there's a quantifiable increase in my resilience. I can view analytics. I come here, and what you're seeing here in my analytics page is the number of streaks I've had, my vitality score at the top, which resilience calculates into, my number of days flowing, and there's a little vitality score. Yeah, and so that's it. And back to home. And so one last thing, if you don't want to check in on anything, you're just like, I'm stressed, you can just tap on that self-care button at the top right-hand corner. And then there's the breathing intervention, and the other interventions that we're building will be in there. But the beautiful thing about Sensie and about the act of using Sensie is that in the act of using Sensie, you become more sensitive to your body. So when I do the gesture, I've been using it for so long now, when I do the gesture, I actually know when I'm blocked or flowing before Sensie even says it. I can feel it. I can feel it in the movement. And that's the whole reason why we created Sensie, was to create an experience that helps us feel. We can't think our way into feelings. It's like taking the back door to get in the front door. We need to go through the door of feelings, which is a felt experience, and movement is something that we can connect to and feel. And through that, cultivate these deeper states of awareness in the body that help us access this joy, this equanimity, this love. And when we're connected to this love and this joy that's in our hearts, then having the ability to connect with community in a more authentic way that feels super good, super good. And then from that place, going out to this deeper connection with nature. So finding, using the tool that's in our back pocket to really help us reconnect to our heart and our intuitive wisdom. I would love to hear any feedback, any questions. If you want to connect with me, it's mike@sensieapp.com, actually. So mike@sensieapp.com. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the technology. We're always looking to engage and connect with communities and explore how we can make it better. So I welcome all feedback, and I hope to hear from you. Much love to you all. Mahalo. Take care.